Welcome to the VA Today pod and videocast with your host, Gail Alexander, a podcast about VAs, for VAs, and businesses looking for the right VA to help to start grow their business. Find the right VA today and visit VA Today on YouTube and ava-ni.com to find out more about VAs and what they can do for you, and get in touch with the virtual assistants you need today.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the VA Today with me, Gail Alexander. And today I'm joined with Ameri Curtis from Ameri Virtual Solutions, which I think I've got right.
Yep.
And Ameri's joining me all the way from Utah today. So it's lovely lunchtime there, and it's sort of evening time here. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us. And the time difference isn't too much of an issue. So I'm really pleased that you taking time out of, I guess, your lunch hour to talk to me.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So just first wanted to talk to you and ask you about how or when did you even first come across the term virtual assistant or VA?
The first time, it was all over Pinterest forever. But I was like, that's not for me. You know, there are tons of things on Pinterest, like how to make money online. And that did not sound fun to me until I came across a Facebook ad from a woman who taught a course, teaches a course on how to become a VA, or she calls it virtual administrative consultant instead. And so I learned from her and realized this is actually a really good thing. So I took her course, and that's how I heard about it. But first it was Pinterest. It was all over Pinterest.
Very good, because it was only mentioned to me. I hadn't come across it in Pinterest, but then again, I guess I'm looking on Pinterest for sort of hobby stuff rather than...
Right, you're not really looking for that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's quite good to know, because it's a social media channel that I think a lot of people kind of overlook when it comes to business. So it's definitely something more to think about. And so what were your main drivers to becoming a VA? Why did you decide that, you know, eventually that it was actually something that would be right for you to do?
Oh yeah. So I am divorced. I'm a single mom of 2 kids. And so this was not just, oh, that would be a fun luxury thing. It was like, this is a necessity. This is the perfect thing. It has all the elements: working from home, making decent money, you know, being my own boss, flexibility, all the things that I need as a stay-at-home single mom. I couldn't pass that up, you know? So, that's the biggest reason, because I've tried other things. Like I've taught English online, but that's still a job, you know, where you have to show up and they pay you hourly basically. And that gets exhausting. So doing this and being my own boss, that was like how it had to be.
Yeah, so. And having 2 kids, and I can vouch for this, is definitely tiring as well. So
oh yeah,
being able to do something that you're good at and that you could do around your family is perfect. And you were saying there that you taught languages online, and I know from your history that you've taught in China and Mexico and the Ukraine. So you've definitely had a lot of experience of teaching languages and abroad.
Yeah. Well, English, I don't speak very fluently otherwise, but that's what I love, is because I was able to travel. I find myself because of that, I've become a very empathic person. I've always been empathic.
Yeah.
You know, my entire life, but being able to travel the world and stuff. And so it's helped me discover that I am a helper. And that's another reason being a VA is so much fun, because I get to solve problems for people and help them, and they go, yes, thank you, you know, and so I love doing it too, because I get to help, and I've come to really love being a helper.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that's what a lot of people say about being a virtual assistant. They actually love helping a business or a person with whatever pain points, whatever they're stuck on. And it's a perfect way that they can do it, because quite often they maybe need just a tiny bit of help or a small bit of help and they just can't afford to have a full-time staff, but a VA is perfect for it. And
Right.
I love the way that you say that traveling has definitely helped you become more empathetic, because that's something that I totally agree with, being an ex-geographer. That's my background, not marketing.
Oh,
And
cool.
traveling is one of my loves to do. Not that I do it so much now with my kids, but I've traveled a lot.
Right.
And I think you're right that when you've been to these places, and especially like the Ukraine, Mexico and China, your mind and your sort of vision, and you're open to new things. You're not inside that small box. You open your world to everything, and I think that's so true. And I think that's a really great skill for a virtual assistant to have.
Thank you.
So, because I think definitely when a virtual assistant, we can work for anyone, for anywhere. Having the ability to understand and be flexible for potential clients all over the world is a major, major bonus. So I actually love that fact.
Right.
And so is that one of the skills that one of the services that you offer your clients is, helping with travel arrangements? Because you're obviously well used to it yourself.
I do. Yeah. I've offered that. I haven't been taken up on it yet, mostly because those who do it love to do it. If they're like me, I love to, that's why I offer to do it, because I love looking at flights. I track my Google Flights all the time, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I want to work with digital nomads, and because that's what I want to be, is being able to just travel everywhere and work from anywhere. And that's another perk of being a VA, is because I get to be that as well. And so, but the problem with working with those types of people, they're like me and they like to do that. So I do offer that travel arrangements, but usually the people that want to do it will do it. Does that make sense?
So it's maybe finding a different client that's or time poor but money rich, and they need to have somebody, figure out my travel arrangements, who's obviously somebody who does it,
right,
does enjoy it. So what other services do you offer for your clients at the moment?
So I do all sorts of stuff. It's all administrative, of course, but I mean, for my clients right now, I am all over the place. I'm doing, I'll do website maintenance for one, and all sorts of administrative, organizational tasks to help him get his clients organized, stay on top of things. I have another client that I'm post to his Instagram, and not just posting, researching the hashtags, engaging, all the business side of Instagram that's really tedious, that people don't think about when they're building a business. So that's really good. So social media. I have another client where I edit her podcasts. So basic editing, some transcription I do for her as well, and website creation. So those are I am kind of all over the place. And that is so fun for me. I love, not just doing one thing, but I am kind of a type A, to where I do love those tedious things. I love doing those things. And that's great, because all of my clients are like, I hate doing that. That's why I hired you. So it's like a win-win, and it's great. But yeah, all over the place. It's really fun.
You would describe yourself as a generalist then? So you do lots of different tasks. Yeah. Do you find yourself going for, because you're not niching in your services at the moment, but do you have a niche type customer? Do you go for the same types of customer, or do you find that your customers or your clients are from the same businesses, or is it totally different for your clients?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, if they want to work with me and they want to pay me, sure. I mean, I'm not to the point yet where I'm turning people away necessarily. And it's good for me to get experience, but my ideal client are coaches. I love working with coaches, with life coaches, health coaches, business coaches. Right now, one of my clients is a writing coach, which I had never heard of until he reached out to me. So that's cool. So he helps people write books. And so I particularly like that, because I learned so much about it. And I think eventually life coach has always been such a cool thing for me. So I'm kind of doing that so I can learn as I go, and maybe eventually do that myself. But those are kind of my ideal clients. But I'm working with a photographer and doing, he's the one I do Instagram for. So, I mean, it just kind of depends, but coaching is what I'm most interested in.
And so you're saying that these are your ideal clients. How do you go about, or how have you got your clients to date? What way have you, if they come to you, or have you gone out and found them? What way have you done that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and so that's how you found me, right? Yeah. So LinkedIn is where I found a couple, some Facebook groups my friends have tagged me in, and some referrals as well. My most recent client is a referral from my cousin's wife. It was like, my husband's cousin does that. Like, you need help? Here's her number. So it's cool. So it's all over the place, and that's what's really hard is getting your name out there. Because once people know, we talk about that in our, I'm a part of a group with other VAs, and our coach kind of tells all of us, how can people know who you're supposed to serve if they don't know what you're doing? And so I just butchered that. She says it more beautifully, but so she emphasizes, get your name out there. You got to utilize LinkedIn and Facebook and all those things. Tell your family. We're all really worried about doing it because of MLMs these days and how annoying that is, and we don't want people to think that we're trying to get them to join our team, so we just get I'm like, trust me, this isn't MLM. I just want to let you know this is my business. And I'm glad I did, because now my new client was from my cousin's wife, who I never would have told otherwise unless I made that effort to do so. So
I think it's because a lot of times, and I know well, maybe not my kind of situation, but I know when I became a VA, it was like, well, what is it you do? And so you kind of don't want to say to anyone, it's like, do you need work? Because I can do it for you, because people are going, what is that? Is that a real job? And I'm like,
what is it?
Yes. Oh my goodness, it is. And it's such a really good job. And as you say,
and that's why I love you're doing this, because like you said, people don't know what it is, and people still ask me, they're like, wait, what are you doing? And I have to explain it, and they're like, that makes sense. But then as soon as somebody, like my cousin's wife, she had no idea until somebody said, I need help with this. It clicked for her, like, wait a minute, that's a thing. My husband's cousin does that, so so it's getting the word out, because
when you're saying what you do and you're getting the word out, how have you in your Facebook group and your coach, what is the way that you're kind of told to say, what is a VA and this is what I do? How would you describe it?
Well, my personal power pitch is, I coordinate administrative tasks for coaches and digital nomads so they can spend more time helping others and seeing the world. So boom, nutshell, administrative tasks so they can have more time helping others and such. So that's kind of in a nutshell, but that's how I describe it to other people, is basically, if you have anything you don't want to do, it's taking up too much time, just pass it over to me and I'll do it.
Because I enjoy this kind of stuff.
Exactly. And I'm okay with that. So
I think my client looked at me when I says I quite enjoy doing keyword research. I went, what? Yeah, it's kind of, I don't. Exactly. People like different things. Just left them
right. Yeah.
And I love the way that you said at the end, you have this kind of little hook. It's not just that you do these services, but it's that they can get to see more of the world. And I think that's, it's not just your business. Yeah. It's like freeing up their personal time as well to let them do other things. And I think that's a great wee hook to get people going, okay, it's not just this, it can help me out with outside of work as well.
Help me. Right. It's not just about me doing stuff for you. It's like, this is the benefit you get by working with me. Yeah.
So sort of the why as well as the what and the how. I think that's class. I'm going to have to think of my own wee thing now. That's homework for me tonight. So You were saying that when you became a VA, you did some VA training.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do any other training? Did you do business training, or was it just specific VA training?
Just specific VA training. I mean, and what was really cool was her name is Lauren Golden. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
She has her course. It's called the Free Momma. So she helps particularly moms learn how to do this.
Yeah.
And so we have this great group. I know, right? Because it's the perfect mom job. And so she was really great at emphasizing this is stuff you already know how to do. Like, these are skills you have that you've had your entire life. I'm just going to help you package them and deliver them, you know? And I was grateful for that because I needed direction. She gave it to me. And so, I mean, but it was stuff that I already knew. I already knew basic organization. I knew how to edit podcasts. I knew how to post to Instagram. All these things that I just had floating around, all these skills, she really helped bring them in and let me package them and make it a legit business. So,
and I think the good thing about that is it sort of shows that VAs, these are people and women, mainly women, have these skills already. It's not somebody that's just thinking I'm going to be a VA and I'll do this. No, these are people that are highly skilled and have become this virtual assistant because it suits their lifestyle. Doesn't mean that they can't do the job. They're highly skilled, highly professional. And they're a massive asset to any business. And I think when you talk about this group, it's the confidence quite often, and I know for myself, it was that lack of confidence that you need to get from somebody that pushes you over the edge. That sounds so wrong.
Right.
To make the jump, really, to become a virtual assistant and a freelancer and work for yourself, because that's the scary bit. The actual works, maybe not, because you already know how to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, the marketing and the business side of it, I had no idea. And she helped walk us through. I mean, how did you do it? Did you pave the way yourself and kind of figure it out?
Yeah, for me, it was kind of different. I had been made redundant at the time, but I had always wanted to go into marketing. And so I took a year and did some voluntary work with Lean In, which is another sort of women's empowerment organization. And they put me in contact with another sort of business in Northern Ireland, a startup, to go and do some marketing work experience. It must have been the oldest work experience apprentice there, but it was a company that had a mapping background, and with my mapping background, it was kind of an overlap there, and it worked really well. So I learned on the job, as well as then taking some marketing courses. And then after that, I started doing pieces of work for different people, research, social media, marketing, like that stuff I knew how to do. Yeah. And then I became a VA. It was suggested to me, you could become a VA. And I was like, what is that? So that's when I was probably already being one before I gave myself the title one. But as you say, I did a bit of business skills through Women in Business in Northern Ireland. We are really lucky here that we get a lot of support for that to help set you up. So knowing those things that you need to do, like registering with HMRC, the tax body here, and then information commissioner's officer, and then stuff like GDPR. So those bits of things you may not have known. So doing a business course was really definitely positive for me to do as well. But it is skills that you take along, because I've been working, been in the workforce for lots of years, and I don't want to lose them. It's experience and it's valuable. So and that's how sort of I came about. And I think that's a similar story to a lot of people that for whatever reason a change of situation has made people look at, okay, a VA, virtual assistant, that's a role that I want to do and I can do, and I would be very good at.
And it is very in demand too. People don't realize, I mean, I know a lot of women that in our group that have been, this seems really saturated. There are thousands of us in this group. Like, am I going to find work? Yet everyone's, I got a new client, like, because there's so many online businesses that need help. And even some of those businesses need more than one VA, so, I mean, it's the future is online, and it's going to need some help. And that's where we come in.
And I think I think even when you say that it's like an online world, even, you know, bricks and mortar businesses still use VAs as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because we are so time poor in general that, you know, having a VA that's available at any hour of the day means anywhere around the world is available, you know, to anyone. So it's a massive market, and I think it's only going to get bigger. And so I think we're quite lucky that we're at the start, but I think there's so much work for everyone in so many different industries. So I don't see any worry to go, oh, well, if they're doing that, I can't do it. I'm like, no, there's only so many hours in the day. You can't do everything for everyone. So I think it's really good. So when you say, because you have 2 kids and I have myself, how do you go about managing your working day?
Oh man, that's a fun one.
Because
sometimes, it's kind of all over the place. I try to schedule out time, like this is my work time. But that doesn't always work because, you know, you have a sick kid or someone who decided to wake up early and ruin, you know, that time. So, I mean, sometimes I'm staying up late. Sometimes I am waking up early. Sometimes I'm doing interviews during nap time for that reason. Sometimes I just let them cry and play like, this is mommy's work time. Figure it out, you guys. Like, or TV is a savior. So, but ultimately, like, the trick for me is do not multitask. And I mean that as in when I'm working, I'm working.
Yeah.
I can't be mom and working at the same time because it just waters everything down. And, you know, I need to put all my focus into one thing. So if my kids are fighting, I'll just hit stop whatever I'm doing, go figure out what, you know, take a break, go, they need attention, whatever, and then come back. So that's the trick for me, is not so much finding time, it's finding time to focus, because that's kind of the trick when I need to really, you can be more productive when you focus on one thing. So,
and I think that's a lot of people sort of manage it around caring responsibilities, and it may not even be with kids. It could be for a relative or something like that. But VAs are very aware of that, and that's the whole reason why they're maybe doing that job. So I think it needs to be stressed that when they are doing the job, they are doing it, and they're doing it well, because they are so many demands on their time as well. So that when they are working, it's getting it done. And then when they're not working, well, they're getting whatever they need to do at home, whatever. So it's not that you have kids sitting running around or anything distracting you. Totally compartmentalized, I guess. But I manage.
And the other cool thing that is, I have great clients who understand that. They go in, you know, when we sign our contract and our agreement, they know that I have kids, and they know that, like, I was texting a client yesterday and then I had to drive away. You know, I was on the freeway. I'm not going to text and drive. But he kept texting me. And so once I got there an hour later, I was like, hey, sorry, I was driving, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, don't worry. I know you have a life. Like, I didn't expect you to get back to me. So I'm like, it's good to have good clients too, that get this kind of relationship, and they know that I have kids. My kids have popped on calls like this every once in a while, and you know, but they're okay with it. And that's what is cool as well, because any other job that would not live. So
I think that's a really good thing that you say, that when you're getting your clients, and it's making sure that they know kind of what you're working with, and your sort of boundaries as well, you know, so that they have the stuff that they want from you, but vice versa. So it's finding the right client that can work and agree to working terms both ways really, really helps. And I think clients will appreciate the fact that, you're going to do a really good job, because you're doing it around, you know, your kids, and that you need to do a really good job as well. And so they'll appreciate that. And plus the fact that means you can bring your whole self to your job, you'll enjoy it more, and you'll be better at it. So I think businesses are coming around to that way of thinking. You know, it's not all about the chain them to the desks for 9 to 5.
Oh man, I can't even do that. I was thinking about how I did that, you know, almost 3 years ago. I had a desk job, and I honestly developed an anxiety disorder because of it. Because I felt no control, right? they were in charge of my schedule, my breaks, and I felt trapped. Some people thrive with that. They have to have that structure. Me, I'm not. And most of us VAs and moms feel that way. Like,
life doesn't work that way. That's the problem.
I know. And so it surprises me that some people love that. But anyway, so it's been very freeing for me, and it's been the best thing.
Yeah.
So
how long have you been a VA yourself? How long have you been doing it?
Actually, I just started in May of this year. So
and you've already got so many clients?
Yeah, I have 4 clients. And so it's pretty cool. I attribute a lot of that to Lauren Golden's course, because it's kind of a fast track. She, took out all the guesswork of everything and just put it in so we could do it right the first time. So I'm really grateful to her for that. So I could get my LLC and, my website, everything up and running. She said it took me like 2 years to figure out all this stuff, and I got it done in a month, the stuff that took her forever. So I'm so grateful for her for paving the way for me so I could get in and get started. So
I think
I am fairly new, but
fairly new, but 4 clients already, and that's excellent. Yep. Like, I mean, I've one, and I'm quite happy with just the one at the moment, because I'm working on this project and my kids are quite young, so we'll ramp it up further down the line. So when you were talking about doing your training with Lauren Golden, did you come across any sort of major challenges? Did you have any major challenges setting up as a VA, or was it pretty much plain sailing so far anyway?
Like setting up, like as far as the logistical business stuff?
Yeah.
It was actually pretty easy. I mean, it was really nice. She had a checklist for us, like get your domain name and your hosting and, your LLC, depends on the state you're in.
Okay.
And I know some states are more complicated, so she wasn't able to tell you every single state, but my state, Utah, was really easy. Just went online, did it real quick. That kind of stuff was all in one module. Boom, we were done, which was great. So the hardest part, I mean, I kind of already talked about already, was the marketing. I was so scared to even do that. But like I said, I did it because I promised myself I was going to do everything she said to do. And I have 4 clients because of it. Brilliant. So yeah.
That's amazing. And I guess once you do it once, it's not that scary anymore, because I know when I started doing videos, it's like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but
yeah,
it's all right. It's not that bad.
Yeah, and it helps you grow. My confidence has just grown so much by getting out of my shell that way. It's been great for my emotional development too. It's kind of cheesy as that sounds, but it's really cool.
But I think that's something that, you continually have to do as a human being. You change over time, and your moods, your mental health, everything changes. So definitely being able to grow emotionally is something that I think people,
part of life.
I think they neglect a bit. So this sort of leads on to a question that, do you find yourself ever feeling like isolated being a sort of stay-at-home mom and a VA working from home? Do you ever find yourself isolated and going a bit cabin crazy, cabin fever, like sometimes I might do?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, working from the computer, when I get a text, I'm like, oh, yay. And it's, like it's a client, which is great because I feel like I'm friends with all my clients, but
that's nice.
Yeah, there is that. And another thing that Lauren's been doing is she'll have these free mama meetups. So we do get out and we do spend time. I haven't really been to anyone, but there are some women in the group that, oh, you live there? That's like 20 minutes for me. Let's meet up. So it's nice to have that Facebook group. And it's fun. I'll like joke with my parents, I'm going to go meet this lady I met online. Like,
they're like,
better, but we're going to be best friends. Yeah. But yeah, so it's really cool. So Lauren's great about organizing those meetups because she understands that. And we're starting to kind of organize our own because we've gotten our own because we've gotten so much bigger in
Yeah.
all these different places. So it's nice to have a connection with other VAs, like,
I think, yeah, definitely,
and
because
and
I
to be
think
able
what
to
a lot
talk
of,
about that.
yeah, at least they understand and get the way you work and why you work, and they can understand the problems, and meeting face to face with a VA. Even though we're virtual assistants, it's still nice to have that real life meet up if
Oh yeah,
possible. So I would do that as well.
yeah,
With a few VAs that are here in Northern Ireland so
cool.
far. And so you were saying that because you've only really started there in May, have you set yourself a yearly goal? You know, do you have a major big goal for the end of this year, or even a bigger 5-10 year goal?
Well, my goal was replacing my income that I made with, I taught English with VIP Kid. And that's, that was teaching English to Chinese kids very early in the morning for me because of the time difference. And it was so exhausting. And I still did not make enough anything. So, but I was like, I got to stop doing that. My goal is to replace that income on a good month, like me working 6 days a week, 3 hours a day with VIP Kid. And I've already got that goal. So to answer your question, no, I don't have another goal yet because that was my goal. So I need to make another one, but
Yeah.
to replace that income. And that's what the goal is for most women in this group that we're in, is to be able to leave their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. And so for me, I did that even though it's only a part-time income. But still that's huge for me. I don't have to wake up and, I mean, they're cute kids. I love teaching with VIP Kid, but it's a job. If I don't do it at that time, I don't get paid.
Yeah, at that time,
So,
ni hao.
Yeah.
Was it sure? I'm like the two things I
Yeah.
know in Chinese from when I went to China.
Yeah,
Nice.
Those are the important things. So.
That's true. So yeah, you're talking about goals, and that's that's so great that you've already met your first goal, and that is fantastic. And not that many people will do it so quickly. Some people will, but others don't. They maybe takes them a little bit longer. So that
Right. And I feel like I'm not being so proactive about it. Like I said, the clients have come to me. I haven't really even made any cold calls or anything. Just me putting myself out there has gotten me these clients. I mean, they're a little smaller. They're not, and we've started with small contracts to see if we get along, but most of them we're going to make retainer clients, so I can count on them for a year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, I could be working harder at getting more clients. I'm just kind of, this is the pace that I like the most. So, but some women are like going crazy fast. Some are even slower than me, and that's fine. We all have our own paces. So
yeah, it'll ramp it up when it needs to ramp up and when the kids are older, I guess.
Right.
So I was going to ask something. I've totally forgotten about it now. What was I going to ask? That's really bad.
I'm sorry.
You can tell it's late at night here. Yeah, I was going to say, how do you, because the clients came to you, how do you vet, I guess, those clients and work out, okay, this is a right fit for me? How did you think, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to work with these people, these will be great?
Well, we sit down, we'll have a Zoom conversation. So it's face to face. They know that I'm a real person, not some sort of scam, because a lot of people are worried about that these days. So we'll have a face to face conversation. They'll tell me about their business, tell me about what they need help with. And I'll be able to tell them, yeah, I can help you with that, and kind of ease their burdens a bit and their worries about their business. I mean, they're coming to me, they need help, right? And so that's my job, is to help ease that for them. And so when I mean, if there's something that I don't know how to do right away, I'll tell them that. I'm not going to lie and say, oh yeah, I know how to do that, when I don't. But I am really good at researching how to get stuff done. I mean, YouTube is a magical thing, right? So like, it's nice to have clients that are okay with me learning as I go, because I'm confident that I can learn it. And so I mean, it depends on what they want done. I've never had to turn away a client necessarily. There are times when they can't afford my fee, and that's fine. You know, I value my time. I'm not going to cut down my price just to keep them as a client, but maybe I'll do less work for them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, as their business grows, they can add more work for me to do, you know? So, I mean, that's kind of how we pre-qualify, I guess. But I did have one client that reached out to me, and it was fun. And he just said, you know what? I don't think you're a part of my world as much.
Okay.
And I was like, that's fine. I mean, my whole philosophy is you need to do what's best for your business. So
Yeah,
whether
vice
that
versa.
means, right, whether that means getting a VA, whether that VA is me, it's totally up to you. I can't decide that for you, you know? So I wasn't offended at all. I was like, great, keep my info. If you change your mind, that's totally fine. You know, he didn't feel it was the right fit, and I was fine with that. So sometimes it doesn't work, because when you're a VA, you kind of need to be a chameleon, you know, and think like your client a little bit. Like when I post to social media for this one client, I try to write captions like he would write them, you know, or, you know, so you need to have that connection. You need to be a good fit. Otherwise it's just not gonna work too well.
Yeah, and I guess that you don't come across as genuine for that client as well. So I think having that open communication and having that really open and honest conversation with a client about what they want, what they expect, and what you can offer them is definitely the way to pre-qualify any customers or clients.
Right. And then another thing is I like to start with a 3-month contract. You know, I don't want to dive into a year when I barely know this person.
Mm.
You know, in 3 months, they can learn to love me. I can learn to love them. Great. We work well together. Let's sign another one, you know, but I don't want them to feel bad at the end of 3 months being like, actually, that wasn't that, you know, let's just not sign another one. They don't have to make me feel bad. 3 months is a really good time to kind of get a good feel, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, that it's, you know, it's not just about the VA accepting, yes, I'll sign it, I'll do whatever work you want from any client. It has to be
right
both ways. You know, they have to fit what you want as well, because it's not going to work for either of you otherwise. So I think VAs need to think, right, okay, I can say no to a client. And as you say, the way you do it with a 3-month contract, it sort of lets you work out any glitches, if there are any, and see if it fits. And if it doesn't, well, then it's okay after the 3 months. There's no hard feelings. It's all down in written contract, hopefully. So I think it's a good way to look at it.
And it's nice because, like I said, I have my Facebook group of all these other freelancing mamas that sometimes people post, hey, I had this discovery call with this client and they're just not my style. Is anyone interested in this kind of business, working with this kind of business? And people would say, yeah, give them my info. And then, you know, so it's a great referral network as well, because some people just work better with other people. So,
and I think that's another good thing about VAs that businesses don't necessarily know about, that even if they can't do it or don't know how to do it or don't want to do it, they can always find the right person who can. So they'll nearly be your HR finder for you as well. So I think that's another point that businesses kind of need to be educated on as well, the benefits of using or even just contacting a VA.
Yeah.
So lastly, I would like to say, is there any kind of sort of tips or tricks or tools that you think are a must-have that a VA or you particularly love? Just sort of any advice in general for the VA world?
Be genuine. I have had clients just love me because I haven't been afraid to be myself and, you know, to make jokes and stuff. Like, I mean, when they hire a VA, they're hiring you. They're not hiring necessarily your skills. They want you. And so that's my biggest thing. The second thing is get Canva. Canva has been a lifesaver for me.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have used it so much more for every client than, I used it for myself at the beginning to make my logo, but then I've used it so much for all my clients. So that's like my favorite little application thing. But yeah, those are my 2 tips, I guess.
I see when the business world actually finds out about Canva and uses it themselves, I think the VAs are out of a job, because I think all VAs use it and love it. Oh, sit and play with it. Yeah, I've been on it quite a bit this afternoon for this project myself. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, it's fun.
So lastly, just to sign off on, was you were saying about groups and the Lauren Golden's group. Is there any other groups that you think are so good that, VAs, even if it's just locally for you in Utah, which is massive compared to where I live, it just seems strange saying locally, but locally or nationally or internationally, are there any groups for a starting VA or even an experienced VA maybe doesn't know about or should join?
You know what? I don't know. I'm kind of loyal to Lauren Golden and the Free Mama movement. So, I mean, I haven't needed anything else because this group is so supportive and fun. There is no negativity whatsoever. We love our gifts. And so we just, comment gifts all the time, which is fun. And so I'm a part of that group, as well as her private coaching group, which is a little smaller, and a little more in-depth, business coaching style and stuff. So I can't recommend her any more highly. Like she is the one. And so I haven't had a need to look at other groups necessarily.
Yeah. I think it's right when you find the one that fits you and that has been helpful to you, you kind of stick to it and you're loyal to it. And it's kind of like your virtual colleagues as well.
Yeah. Yep. We're the Free Mamas. That's kind of our thing. So
yeah, I've heard of this movement quite a bit, so I am going to go offline now. I'm going to stalk this person and have a conversation hopefully. So.
You're gonna have to. She's pretty high commodity though, so if you can get in with her, that would be impressive. She's awesome.
Say hello and see if she'll give me a wee chat.
There you go.
But anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your nap time, because this is obviously time that you're going to be doing house stuff or other stuff or work stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's valuable time. So I really appreciate the time that you've taken to spend to have a chat with me, this random person from across the pond.
Yep.
And I really hope that that by doing this helps you and it helps the VA business in general, to get, as you say, get the word out there and to explain to people how good the VAs are. And so I'm just going to sign off and say I hope to hear from you soon and see how your progress is going. And thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gail, for having me. This was fun.
You're very welcome.